Yo, what's good YouTube? Welcome back to my channel for another discussion video. Like, comment, and subscribe. Today's question of the day is discipline a spiritual practice? When most people think about discipline, they think about waking up early, going to the gym, and working hard. But what if I told you we've been looking at discipline in a narrow perspective? What if discipline isn't just about changing externally? What if every disciplined decision we make changes us internally? And that's something I want to explore in today's video. But before we even get into that, we have to ask ourselves, what is discipline? For me, discipline is about alignment more than anything. Take going to the gym for an example. If you have a dream body, right? You have to go to the gym on days you don't really feel like it. Days you don't really feel like getting up, you have to strive for greatness. Even the type of foods you eat, you can't really eat anything you want, right? You have to stay in a rigorous diet to fulfill that dream goal. This is all aligning your decisions to your ultimate goal. You have to choose your ultimate goal over short-term pleasures in the moment. If you're someone that struggles with discipline, this can be connected to a lack of purpose. When most people think about disciplined actions, they associate it with a lack of freedom. But what if I told you it's the opposite? What if I told you discipline actually gives you your freedom back? Discipline allows you the ability to act independent of emotions. Discipline allows you the ability to act independent of desires and cravings. To me, that's real freedom. Maybe discipline isn't about taking something away from yourself. Maybe discipline is about giving you your power back that you always had. I disagree with the idea that discipline is a character trait that you either have or you don't. To me, I think discipline is the repeated actions of keeping promises to yourself. Your habits are a current reflection of the mental state that you have. If you want to change your habits, you must change your mind first. Then your body will follow. Your mind is your biggest asset. Ask yourself, are my daily actions aligned to the person I want to become? Another question that I have for you is, why in so many spiritual traditions do they practice restraint? Christians, Buddhists, Muslims, monks. In each spiritual tradition, they practice discipline with solitude. Why is that? And what can we learn from it? During long periods of solitude, this requires a great amount of discipline. In the beginning, this is because you're likely to want to pick up your phone or stimulate your brain through some sort of action. This is why you see in spiritual traditions, it requires a long period of solitude for them to reach some type of divine intervention or divine ascension. And what can we learn from these experiences? We learn that if you put the time and work in, you're able to receive certain spiritual gifts from being through solitude, whether it's your enhanced intuition or just creativity that I talked about previously. Another topic that I want to explore is, why is discipline so hard in the beginning? And I believe discipline is hard in the beginning is because your brain is not used to whatever action or decisions you're trying to make. Your brain is used to taking the easy route, taking the easy decisions, or the decisions that is filled with pleasure. Like I mentioned before, most disciplined actions are seen as a lack of freedom, but it's really aligning yourself to your desired being or desired self. So these actions that your brain isn't used to taking, it's going to be hard to change these thoughts and change how you're usually interacting in the decisions that you make on a day-to-day basis. So, as I said before, if you want to change your habits, you change your mind first, and then your body will follow. But as we all know, it's not that easy to change your habits. Most habits that people have today have been created for years and years, and breaking a year habit or a decade habit isn't that easy. So it takes a lot of discipline and dedication to changing these habits and decisions. So this is why in the beginning it can feel so hard to like, you may want to make these actions and changes, but in the beginning you're not really fulfilling these because your brain is so used to taking the easy route or like receiving pleasure from previous choices that you make. You may ask, why is it easier for other people to make disciplined decisions on a consistent basis? And this goes back to the same point. It's hard for somebody in the beginning to not make the disciplined actions they may want to make because their brain is not used to it. They haven't developed these habits to making those decisions. And vice versa goes to the person that it's easy to make the decisions. So they already have these habits. They likely already developed the habits and system to make their disciplined decisions. So I'm always going to go back to the gym example. Somebody that's been going to the gym consistently for 5 years, it's easier to go to the gym on days that they don't want to than it is for somebody that's just starting out, maybe in the first year of them. Their brain is likely to go and resort back to how they were acting before they were going to the gym because their habits and their brain pathways hasn't been strong enough and strengthened enough compared to the person that's been going to the gym for years. And it's all about changing your mindset, like I said before. If you change your mindset and develop these pathways and consistently show up for yourself and not break your promises to yourself, your brain will automatically start trusting you to make the decisions and be disciplined. So discipline isn't really something hard. It's something that you have to be consistent about and continuously show up for yourself. And that brings me to my final point that I wanted to discuss. What type of person does discipline create? And I believe discipline creates a person that is resilient and resistant. Like I said before, when a disciplined person doesn't act off their emotions, they act independent of emotions. So a disciplined person is free. They are able to act independent of all emotions, cravings, and desires. They know they have to do what's right and show up for their future self, their desired self. So, but this doesn't come overnight, and this doesn't come easy. This comes through long forms of just being by yourself and meditation. And this is why I believe discipline is a spiritual practice, because if you connect it to all spiritual traditions, all acts of disciplines, that even if you don't practice discipline in a spiritual way, you're likely are committing actions or doing actions that are aligned to spiritual practices. So meditating, to meditate, you have to be disciplined. You have to do that for long periods of time. This requires a long period of solitude. Like I said before, most monks and Buddhists perform long amounts of solitude, or they're by themselves for long periods of times. Even as simple as my gym example, you have to go without. You have to practice restraint. In Christianity, it teaches you a lot about going without and practice restraint, not being of the world. You have to let go of certain stuff and be okay with that stuff. You have to kill your old self, and that's what they teach you in Christianity. So all these things are connected to discipline. So that brings me to my essential belief that discipline is a spiritual practice. But don't take my word for it. Question what you think. Question the decisions that you make in your life. Do you practice discipline? Are you a gym goer? Or do you have a specific faith? How do you see discipline in the way you practice your faith? And then let me know down in the comments. Again, thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe.